everyone's attention, please. I hope you're enjoying the wonderful food that was brought for us to enjoy tonight. We have a guest with us this evening, Casey O'Brien, who would like to share a little bit about his story in dealing with homelessness and what that looks like for him.
I need to just turn a toggle switch. Or maybe you can turn
This
a
one?
toggle switch.
Power?
There you go. That should do it.
Hello?
Yeah, it's on. It's on now.
Can everyone hear me? Oh my God. I'm a certified audio engineer. Hi, I'm Casey. Real quick, can people raise their hand if they've ever seen me before? Hi. Yeah, they got some people. I was here last year. I've been homeless since I was 14. So I'm kind of a veteran in the game. I'm an OG. I kind of know the world that you guys are talking about, so I figured I should come out of the forest and talk about it for a little bit. I think a lot of people raise their hands about they've experienced homelessness, so I don't really have to describe what it's like. But it's basically society gives you a feeling of safety. When you leave society, this doesn't exist anymore, and you're left alone with whatever's around. And there are a lot more people out there that like to go into that world to hurt people. So being around children on the street since I was young, we've experienced a lot of it. I've lost a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people, get taken advantage of. A lot of people run away from home and they wind up with whoever's out there to help them. And the people that want to help them want to use them for tons of different stuff. So I'll tell you a couple stories. I went into DCF because I did acid with Cheap Trick, the band, at the Hermitage Club in Wilmington. And I came home and my dad had like a psychotic episode. He had brain damage. We had a lot of land. We had millions of dollars in equity. We had 40 cabins we were going to turn into like a motel program in 2008. And local police in Wilmington just jumped us at our house. And then they ripped him out of the car on our property. They beat him so bad, he kind of lives in that moment since. So for like 15, 20 years now, all he really does is just cycle that feeling of powerlessness when they held him down, tased him, pepper sprayed him, beat him half to death, and made him apologize to me about being a bad father. They call him Gary the Legend O'Brien because he was the best ski instructor in the state, and the rich people loved him. He got to be on their yachts and in their houses. So after that, I was taken into DCF because it just got worse and worse and worse until that night when I came home on acid and said, I just partied with the band. And he ripped my door off the hinges and tried to kill me with a hammer. And I had to kill him. He made it, but I had to walk like miles in the snow. And then DCF, they don't care, There's some people that do, and coincidentally they're all Irish. I represent. I'm O'Brien. All the Irish people were great there, but there was a lot of people that would come in and take their problems out on us. My mom, when she was young, was at a Dr. Phil ranch. Kind of, like Dr. Phil sends the girls and the guys that are misbehaving to a ranch to learn how to behave. 40 years ago, she was at one, and a guy got into power and kicked all the staff out and hired his friends, and they would just they'd take advantage of the girls every day. And my mom had to crawl out of the window and crawl to the edge of the field and hold her hand up until somebody found her, half dead. And then a boy at the boys' ranch saved them. They went to New York and they all got sex trafficked. In DCF, I met tons of kids from homes that I didn't realize how different Vermont is. I'm not an original Vermonter. We're from New York City. So I didn't realize that being away from that densely populated area can make people delusional and stuck. And in a world where they don't really realize this sort of like, in the city we say it's when it's up, like you're always on high alert. You always have to hold yourself to a higher standard. People, it seems here, don't really have that. They're able to sink. They all smoke cigarettes and sit in the trucks, and they sort of live in a little bubble. And that lets people start to get angry about things that don't really matter. So at least I'll say one thing. I definitely King Street Shelter in Burlington. I was with a bunch of kids, and there was a runaway that was 17 that was with us that I took under my wing. I brought him to the gym every day. I had him see me go into the bar, and I was like a smelly homeless guy with blisters on my feet, and I walked in just to talk to people to show them that I could and that it's possible. Like even in DCF, I was always trying to help get kids motivated and in control of themselves so that they could survive because we didn't have anybody else. A couple days after that, some guy, I guess I went in to hang out with a girl that I met at the waterfront, and then he wound up with the guys at City Hall. He was a good kid. They invited him to a trap house. They were living in the abandoned library up there. And story is that they filled him with everything they had, and then they all took turns raping him, and then they dumped him at the hospital. He was 18. Then I found out. I went there, and he didn't want to see us. He wanted to see his girlfriend, so we weren't allowed to see him. After that, he went to Florida, and we don't know what happened to him, but we know that he just kind of loses it every few months, and we don't know. He's not taking the trauma well. I've also met a lot of pieces of shit in the motel programs that are doing drugs, selling drugs, taking advantage of the system. I don't know how to fix that, but I want people to know that a lot of people just don't want to be in society anymore, and the only option is to leave and be in the forest. And those guys don't have access to clothes or a shower. And they don't really know what they're doing. And especially in Vermont, where there's not places like a city where you can go to Muscle Beach and just work out with the OGs, smoke some weed and get huge, and then build discipline, and then you want things and go for it. You kind of just wander around in Vermont. So we're going to I think most likely we're going to see a lot of runaways that are fleeing bad environments that are going to come to this area because they believe that Vermont is really nice and that it looks nice and that it's a place to go that's safe. So from what I've heard from cities is that everybody's telling them to come here because of the benefits. So I don't know who we're going to meet. I don't know who's going to wind up here. This seems to be the central place between Rutland, White River, and Montpelier. It's one of the towns where people get stuck. So I just wanted to say that coming to Randolph, I wasn't given any opportunities other than Capstone. When I got here, I broke down at the park. Old men in military uniforms showed up and used to stomp around me and stare at me through the car. I tried to learn cryptocurrency and digital marketing on my phone at the laundromat. I played basketball up here last year. Someone that was living here upstairs came out and told me he owns the place and that I'm on his property. And I said, they said that's a dog house. I think the dog has to tell me to leave. It's a daycare. I don't see anyone telling me I have to stop playing basketball. I don't think, I didn't like his attitude. So he came in that night at the laundromat and he tried to kill me with a baton. I'm an OG. I had a hatchet. So I whipped him over my shoulder and I got him in the ribs a bunch. He ran out. I smacked on his window. His getaway driver slammed into that telephone pole and left. I was like, I finally won. I've been beaten up a lot. But after that, rumors flew around for a long time. I was getting people swerving at me, people chucking their beer cans at me, cigarette butts out the window, screaming junkie at me, trying to walk from here just around to find places. I would just sleep in the snow. Everywhere I applied to wouldn't hire me. My hair got longer and more places didn't want to. I had people come out and say they were going to help me, take a picture of me, and then post that they helped me for clout, and they never did. I guess my advice for the homeless people themselves is that being able to discern who are the good ones versus the bad ones, don't hate, but know that whether your charity is going to go down the drain or not, because everybody wants to be a part of something bigger, but not everyone is ready. And usually one act of, like, when the people that are out there, like the vicious dogs that are running around on crack screaming, they're usually just looking for one act of kindness and then they're back enmeshed in the community. As long as you keep that friendly vibe and stay strong with it, with those boundaries that you know that those people might not be ready to help and they might be mad at society because of things that people that aren't like you guys have done to them. They feel against you, so they're kind of at war with society. And because you're a part of it, you might be victimized by it. and there are definitely people that don't care. But there are plenty of needles in the haystack that really could use kindness and open arms and empathy, not like inviting them into the house, but just knowing that they're not feral animals or however people see us. I don't even know. I don't know what you guys see when you look at me. I'm an animal. I'm like an animal in the forest. But it's pretty much just one act of kindness, and then all of a sudden, every time that I'm mad at the world, somebody comes and, like, say I'm mad at the government or something, and then a Navy SEAL fills my tank because I have to like buckle down and wait and try to figure out how to ask for gas money to start door dashing again, and then the Navy SEAL just fills up my tank. I immediately start wanting to help. Once I feel like I've become a part of. I'm no longer ostracized, and I'm involved. All I do is think about how to help people. But every cigarette butt or gun to my head or friend that I lose, I'm one step closer to just pouring a gas can outside in a circle around your town and then slowly watching it burn from the inside. You know? And I think that a lot of other people are too. And homeless is definitely the new black. I think I walked from the McDonald's to here, 3 people swerved at me. As I'm walking with my headphones in, looking at the crows and singing my Irish music, 3 people went to the side just to like, get off my road. And this is this and Morrisville are the worst in the state so far. This place, at least the police care, which is cool. The cops in Morrisville are on their side. So that's me. If anyone has any questions real quick, and then I have to go. Does anyone want to know what it's like?
No cane today, so thank you so much, Casey. If you have questions for Casey, you're at this table.
Yeah.
So people come chat with you.
Sure.
And hopefully you have a few more minutes. So if you want to come chat with Casey, if you can take some time to write down on your post-it notes what is one small thing you can do or are doing to improve the life for folks that are unhoused at the moment. How do we create resources that are going to benefit people?